We start tonight with breaking news about the president fighting back after 2+ years of nothing but complete and utter cooperation. 1.5 million documents handed over. Every single person in the White House encouraged to cooperate and speak with Mueller and Congress. Not one time did the Trump White House invoke executive privilege. Not once. Even White House counsel, which is, to me, unfathomable, Don McGahn spent 30 hours with Mueller's Democratic pals and Hillary's attorney. Now the president's saying enough is enough, and today the president did finally say enough is enough by exerting executive privilege over all aspects of the Mueller report, and the White House ordered former counsel Don McGahn from testifying before Congress. They already have 30 hours. The Attorney General Barr is refusing to be interrogated, not by the House Judiciary Committee, by their staff. For the 206 years of that committee, not one time has that ever happened. And the Attorney General is saying, and it's not going to happen now. And the endless stream of document subpoenas, they are now being rejected by the administration. In other words, the witch hunt is over. The Democrats lost. And what the Democrats are now doing is nothing more than radical revenge, which is born out of a mass psychotic rage against the president. And by the way, 4 separate independent, 4, they have an irrational inability to accept 4 separate independent results. The 9-month FBI counterintelligence investigation. Oh, Peter Strzok, no there. Oh, we had nothing. Just before the appointment of Mueller, Lisa Page said, we have the House Intel Committee investigation. No collusion, no conspiracy, no cooperation with Russia. The bipartisan Senate investigation. And now the 20-month Mueller witch hunt, all determining the same thing. No collusion, no obstruction. Does Congress care one iota how much this is costing in legal fees? And for what? What about every single person that has been called before the committees or called before Mueller? They all have to pay for lawyers. Lawyers in Washington, D.C. can be as much as $1,000 an hour. Now they're going to be called in to be asked the same questions now a 4th, 5th, and 6th time. This is nothing but harassment and abuse of power and, frankly, a brand new taxpayer-funded witch hunt designed to smear the duly elected president of the United States and anybody that dares to enter his orbit in support. That's why tonight we turn to the Washington swamp. 19-term Congressman Jerry Nadler wasting valuable time, resources to continue to prolong and continue to push a debunked hoax of conspiracy. The desperation reeks. In an effort to be totally transparent, the Attorney General gave Nadler, 11 other senior lawmakers, access to a totally unredacted version of the Mueller report that included everything except grand jury material. Everything but 0.1% was handed over because that's illegal. Got to keep in mind, this is because of a law that Nadler supported in the 1990s. Barr was under no obligation because people like Nadler wanted the law this way. He didn't even want the Starr report sent to the American people, to be seen by the American people, was fighting against we, the people, seeing that. Then they changed the law. Now, the Attorney General has no obligation to release one word of the Mueller report. But still, the Attorney General Barr, well, unredacted, classified information, ongoing case materials, other publicly withheld content that might reveal sources and methods, the whole entire country was able to see. The Judiciary Chairman, Nadler, and his fellow Democrats all refused to actually take the time and see the unredacted version. Go see the whole thing. Instead, today, Chairman Nadler's circus voted to hold the Attorney General in contempt of Congress. And according to Nadler, this is all about Barr's decision to defy his subpoena, which demanded that the unretracted Mueller report be released to the full committee. Well, ranking committee member Doug Collins, who will join us in a moment, pointed out that Nadler once claimed that a subpoena was, quote, a powerful and coercive tool only to be used when attempts to reach an accommodation with the witness have reached an impasse. But during the hearing, Chairman Nadler on his high horse in his circus committee, while he said the subpoena was merely intended to start a dialogue with Barr's office. Oh, that's new. Let's start a dialogue. Here, we're going to subpoena you, and we'll have other members threaten the sergeant of arms to put you in cuffs and drag you to the committee. Take a look.
The subpoena is written as the beginning of a dialogue process, as the beginning of a process to talk to the Attorney General and to the Department of Justice, and ultimately to go to court. But it's designed to be the foundation of a dialogue and is not designed to force our hand in what we insist on in court.
This is not the first time that Nadler and his circus have been caught totally, completely, utterly contradicting himself. As it turns out, Nadler has one set of standards for his good friend, Bill Clinton. Remember him? Bill Clinton, the Starr Report listed 11 separate felonies committed by Clinton. He lost his license to practice law. He did pay Paula Jones almost $1 million. And yeah, he was impeached. Yet Nadler has a whole other standard for President Trump. So, you know, just like Democrats care about collusion, but not if it's Ukraine and Hillary. They care about obstruction, but not Hillary and her deleting subpoenaed emails, 33,000 bleach bid and hammers and SIM cards removed. They don't care about that. They care about, I believe, but only for a high school student, Kavanaugh, not for the lieutenant governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Selective moral outrage. Anyway, watch this.
It is the culmination of nearly 3 months of requests, discussions, and negotiations with the Department of Justice for the complete unredacted report by Special Counsel Mueller.
Somebody, the staff of the Judiciary Committee, perhaps the chairman and ranking minority members of the Judiciary Committee, is going to have to go over this material, at least the 400 or 500 pages in the report, to determine what is fit for release and what is, as a matter of decency and protecting people's privacy rights, people who may be totally innocent, third parties, what must not be released at all.
Do you think the president obstructed justice?
Yes, I do. It's very clear that the president obstructed justice.
We must not overturn an election and remove a president from office, except to defend our system of government or our constitutional liberties against a dire threat.
We have to protect the rule of law, and that means we have to investigate and hold hearings and lay out for the American people if the administration is involved in abuses of power or obstruction of justice.
The American people have heard the allegations against the president, and they overwhelmingly oppose impeaching him. They elected President Clinton. They still support him. We have no right to overturn the considered judgment of the American people.
Just a phony hypocrite. And by the way, his shift in opinion is not just an exercise in anti-Trump vitriol and hypocrisy. Nadler's current fishing expedition is about so much more than a simple case of Trump hate rage derangement syndrome. Democrats now fear of the Attorney General, caught red-handed, concocting, perpetuating a massive fraud. This is what's underlying the fear and the hatred and the attacks against the Attorney General. The Attorney General will expose their hoax, their conspiracy theories, what really happened. It scares the living daylights out of him because he's going to investigate the biggest abuse of power, and that's only just beginning. So they got to smear him before he does his job.